viewers, and welcome back to yet another feisty and exciting episode of Erongo Talk. My name is Michelina Batises and we're finding ourselves at the heart of Duinesig High School here in Walvis Bay. So as per usual, we'll give you some news, we'll give you some weather and tides, and we'll also speak to the Education Director Ernfriede Stephanus about the 2022 academic school year. So stay tuned for the calendar day. And for our news for today, first up we have school calendar set for 2022. The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture announced that the government schools has already started on the 10th of January for 22 for learners, whereas the teachers already started on the 6th of January. The total school days for 2022 will be 195, with the first trimester consisting of 99 days and the second trimester of 96 days. The first midterm break is slated for 3rd to 6th May, whereas the last school day for the learners for the trimester will be on 10 June. Now remember that we should keep in mind that the public holidays will also form part of the trimester. The school will restart on 26 July for the second trimester, and classes will continue until 26 September when the second midterm break starts, which will last until 30 September. Learners will also have home weekends on 18 and 14 March before hostel close for the midterm break. The second semester for hostel learners will consist of 128 days. Moving on to our second story, grade 8 initiation turns sour. Parents of grade 8 learners at NMH High School in Swakopmund on Wednesday threatened legal action against the school for alleged cruel and abusive treatment of their children during the school annual initiation process. The parents, through their legal representative Richard Metcalf, said that their children were subject to cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment from other learners, all in the guise of initiation. The parents are accusing the teachers of turning a blind eye to this. Every year, grade 8 learners must wear their school uniforms inside out, wear plastic grocery bags as socks, are forced to keep their heads bowed in an act of subservience, and do physical exercise. Besides this, the parents are also claiming their children have to carry heavy objects, provide gifts and food to older learners, and are being exposed to the sun while having to remain motionless for lengthy periods. The initiated learners were also allegedly told to write excuse letters to the head girls if they could not afford to pay for the food and gifts demanded. Some of the so-called initiation procedures simply amount to criminal offenses punishable by our courts. The letter from the Metcalf to the school's principals, Rosemary September, stated, adding that some initiation practices allegedly caused physical harm, necessitating medical intervention to some of the grade 8 learners. Moving on to our third and final story for today. line drawn between initiation and orientation at Swakop School. Character building, discipline, and academic performance are considered respectable outcomes of orientation for new school learners, while practices that could involve physical and psychological abuse under the guise of initiation of new learners is against the law. This was the agreement between parents of grade 8 learners of Namib High School at Swakopmund, the school principal Rosemary September, and Erongo's education director Ernfriede Stephanus during a meeting recently after the school was threatened with legal action after alleged abuse during the school annual initiation of grade 8 learners started last week in public schools. It is alleged that some of these learners at the school were subject to physical, emotional abuse. In a nutshell, it states that any practice, be it physical, mental, emotional, or psychological, that may result in the injury or degradation of the character of a learner constitutes to criminal offense. September provided a report at the meeting in which she highlights the positive aspects pertaining to what is fitly termed an orientation program. Every year we start with about 180 grade 8 learners who come from different schools and different cultures and economic backgrounds, hence our orientation program, she said. Now, if you'd like to read the stories and many more, please don't forget to visit our website. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. I am joined by Ernfriede Stephanus, who is the Education Director of the Erongo region. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well. I must say the schools have been hectic ever since the schools started recently. Can you just give us a brief overview about the registration process that has been taking place from the onset that the school started?
Yeah. You know that the registration process already started last year. It's an annual event when we start with campaigns in May, and then the registration period itself kicked off in June, and it should be finalized by September. The parents should know whether the learners have placed in school or not. After that, the record keeping list should be forwarded to the regional office, and this is where we now, in the beginning of the year, the colleagues of the admission committee will do the placement at different schools where places are available. We started off with a list, especially in Walvis and Swakopmund, we have a challenge as it is already known. We started off with 395 grade 1 learners that are supposed to be placed in Walvis, grade 1s, and in Swakopmund we had 120 that were on the record keeping list. So what normally happens is that we will look at the number of learners that we have at school. Some of the parents are not bringing the learners back. They were encouraged that the learners should report back by last week Monday so that we know that spaces are still available. The other option is that we are resorting to platoon systems where we ask schools to have afternoon classes. So we have implemented in, I think, 2 schools, Frederede, we have requested them to take in 4 groups of grade 1s for now, and then also we are renting classrooms from churches and where we can have space just to accommodate these learners. We were supposed to build additional classrooms for this year. We received the funds late last year. We have requested additional funds, and with those funds we will build additional classrooms, but we also opt for 2 project schools. One in Swakopmund for a junior secondary school, and then 1 pre-primary in Walvis Bay.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So you mentioned that space is always a challenge in the beginning of the year. So are there still learners up to date that do not have places, like you said, that you're renting out churches or classrooms, and yeah. So are there still lack of spaces, or the measures that you put in place, are they helping so far?
Yeah. Every year we put measures in place to accommodate all the learners. So, but to address this challenge, we need more schools, as I've already said many times in interviews. Head office will build one primary school. The site meeting already took place. They should just do the site handing over. So that in itself will be a relief also for the region.
So where was the school built?
The school is going to be built.
Okay, it's going to be built. There was just a site visit in the handover.
The site visit took place in the handing over. It's still in process. It will be soon. The challenge that we are experiencing is that many of the outside parents are also, because of many reasons, looking for jobs in coastal towns, are flocking to the coastal towns, and then therefore we have so many learners. But what we are saying is that we have schools with hostels, and if learners can also use that opportunity to enroll their learners in those schools. Duinesig was recently renovated, the 2 blocks that were burnt long before independence. So there we also enroll grade 8s, grade 9s and 10s. The figures were given to the public, and the challenge there is only that we still need to provide the furniture, and then the learners can start. Hopefully by next week, Friday, all should be in place, and then the learners should report back at school.
That's wonderful. Just now tapping in also to the hostels that you mentioned, compared, are there still more hostel challenges with regards to schools? Other than Duinesig now, of course, that still needs furniture. How is the situation with the hostels in the Erongo region?
Yeah, no, the other challenge with not only with regards to hostels is that we have a water challenge, and most of the hostels are affected. Like Katora is one of them. Ovihitva is also having a community hostel, and then we have Omashede that is also having a community hostel. But when it comes to the government hostels, we have provided everything. We have renovated the hostels last time with the COVID funds. So there are a few hostels now that are having a challenge, like the 2 hostels in Swakopmund. You know that the Namib primary hostel was closed. There is a major renovation that needs to take place there. The pipes are rusted, and then the roof is leaking. We have the same experience now with Namib High hostels, where recently, I think 2 days back, it was raining and then they were flooded. So we could not attend with the COVID funds to all the hostels, but we have a few hostels that need major renovations for the learners to be at a safe place.
All right. And now just moving a bit into the rural areas, how's the situations with the rural areas that side, the schools, the placement, just the process that side, how is it going?
Most of the rural areas is in Omaruru circuit, and we do not have really a challenge there. As I said, many of the parents are flocking here. So the placement, normally, even if we report, we only report on the 2 circuits, Walvis and Swakopmund, because we do not have a challenge in Omaruru. Okay. The only challenge is that we have learners on farms that we are now looking for and bringing in into the schools. We recently have a challenge where 2 learners also walk away from the hostel because they are not used to this situation of staying in a hostel, but they are small and we are trying to bring them in. Yes. But we don't have a challenge really in the rural areas.
Right. Yes. And you mentioned that there are projects going, like one of them, the site visits, and there's still a handover that should take place. What other projects can we look into for this year? What other projects are up the sleeve?
Yeah. Last year we built 16 standard classrooms and 8 pre-primary classrooms. That's now the budget of 2020-21. With the additional funds that we got also last year, we are going to build, we advertised 12 classrooms. It will be 12 plus 3, 15 classrooms will be built, and then with the rest of the funds, we will attend to the 2 project schools at the regional level. That I said, one will be in Walvis, and one will be in Swakopmund. We have a challenge in Walvis with the plot where we were supposed to build these schools. You know that if you look at the situation, most of the schools are situated in one center. So we will have meetings as soon as possible if we can have that, because we want to kick off this project, and at least within 2-3 months it should be done.
All right. And we're also finding ourselves in a classroom with new furniture, so let's just talk about that. We're at John Avasep Primary School. What is happening here?
Yeah. At John Avasep, we built 6 classrooms last year, at a block of 4 and a block of 2. So we have received funds, but we have placed the orders, and it's a little bit late. These colleagues, I talked to them yesterday, they are working around the clock to attend to this. These desks that you are seeing here are the ones that is a regional project. NMH is repairing all the old desks, and this is what we have now. In the meantime, we supply the schools with the desks. Now, the challenge is the chairs. They are still busy with that, and we do not have also so many frames that we have to repair. So what I was telling the principal is that if the parents can at least one learner grab a chair from home, and at least teaching and learning should start. By latest Monday, everybody should be back at school, because the learners are already enrolled, but it's only the desk and chairs that is a challenge. Yeah.
Thank you, Director. Any last comment that you want to give for the 2022 academic school year?
I can only say that I wish my staff, regional staff, the hostel staff, the teachers on the ground, those are the people who are working hard anyway at school level, all the best for 2022, and then we should take hands and look after our kids. They are the future of tomorrow, and my office is always open. It's an open door policy, and everyone with challenges can just approach us, and then we will address the challenges together.
Thank you so much, Director. All the best for the academic year.
Thank you.
And I like to make bullet points with colour when I study. It helps me remember the stuff shortly, and I like to ask myself the questions like how and when and what happened and stuff like that when I'm studying for history or something like that.
for today. For Walvis Bay, the sun was out 22 minutes to 7 and will set 9 minutes to 8. Walvis Bay will experience a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A west wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Swakopmund, the sun was out 21 minutes to 7 and will set 9 minutes to 8. Swakopmund will experience a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A west wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Henties Bay, the sun was out 20 minutes to 7 and will set 9 minutes to 8. Henties Bay will experience a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A west-southwesterly wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Arandis, the sun was out 23 minutes to 7 and will set 12 minutes to 8. Arandis will experience a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 14 and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A west wind will prevail with a speed of 13 kilometers per hour. For Usakos, the sun was out 25 minutes to 7 and will set 15 minutes to 8. Usakos will experience a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 15 and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A southwest wind will prevail with a speed of 15 kilometers per hour. For Karibib, the sun was out 26 minutes to 7 and will set 16 minutes to 8. Karibib will experience a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A southwest wind will prevail with a speed of 13 kilometers per hour. And last but not least, for Omaruru, the sun was out 25 minutes to 7 and will set 17 minutes to 8. Omaruru will experience a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 38 degrees Celsius predicted for tomorrow. A south-southwesterly wind will prevail with a speed of 9 kilometers per hour. And that was it for your weather report. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of our lovely episode for today. But fear not, we'll be joining you tomorrow again. If you have news for us, video clips for us, messages that you want us to share, or just talk to us, please send us your messages and videos to our WhatsApp and Telegram number, which is 0811 7040. I repeat, 0811 7040. And if you'd like to read more stories, the stories that I read today, and many more, don't hesitate to visit our website on www.erongo.com.na. I repeat, www.erongo.com.na. We also have our own online TV channel, which consists of our show and many other NMH TV shows. So you can visit our site on oneup2.com. I repeat, oneup2.com. We also have a brand new email where you can send us your news tips, which is newstips@erongo.com.na. I repeat, newstips@erongo.com.na. From myself and the rest of the Erongo team, it has been a pleasure talking to you today and hosting you today. See you again next time.